All right, and we are back. 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 Welcome. All right, and we are back. And today we're back with another reaction video. And this time we're going to try something new here. Not necessarily new, but this is a channel I haven't reacted to before or even seen. It is a new channel, Stunned by Wrestling. I'm excited for this one because, I mean, it looks like he's got a lot of content that I would be interested in seeing. Again, shout outs to the channel. I want you guys, I'm going to say it out first. Go ahead and hit the link below so you can go ahead and subscribe to their channel. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and talk about the many controversies of Jerry Lawler. So yeah, this is going to be an interesting one because I used to kind of be a fan of Jerry Lawler when I was a kid. Now, to be fair, I feel like I may have been watching Jerry Lawler a little bit too early. It's not really like young content. Like, Jerry Lawler was pretty crazy. Like, looking back on it, I'm like, wow, I can't believe he was really just saying this stuff. Like, they're kind of just going wild right now. Like, who says these things? I mean, again, I started watching wrestling in the Attitude Era. So, like, DX, not like the Shawn Michaels DX, but like the X-Pac DX and the Road Dogg. Like, yeah, that was my DX right there. So they were doing all types of wild stuff. You had SmackDown and Raw both going crazy on different times. You know, I was a kid that sometimes had cable, sometimes didn't. I was watching Jerry Lawler sometimes. I wasn't other times. I was watching Taz. I don't know if I'm sure there's going to be a video about Taz soon because I'm not sure if he was too much better. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and get right into this, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you hit that like button, you comment down below, you subscribe to the channel. You never know what I'll put out next. And also, once again, just going to say it one more time. If you're watching this video, but you haven't seen the original, you want to check that out, make sure you go ahead and check out the original video. Link will be in the description below. Go ahead and comment on this channel. Give my boys some support and some love. Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and get into this. But, oh, gosh, okay. Before we do, I do have to mention this one thing. And that is, if you guys don't like, comment, and subscribe, more importantly, subscribe, YouTube will come through that door right over there, and they will. The many controversies of Jerry Lawler.
Jerry Lawler is a legend in the wrestling business with a career that spans decades. But for all of his accolades, he's also been involved in his fair share of controversies over the years. In December 1993, Lawler was arrested in Louisville, Kentucky, following allegations involving two teams.
Whoa, hold on. Is this where we're starting? Oh my gosh.
According to,
do I gotta censor the word on screen? Like,
the police record.
All right, guys. Jerry Lawler is cooked, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what else to say. If you're currently a fan after this one, I don't even know. We're 20 seconds in, and it's like, this is it. This is the bombshell. They dropped the bombshell, ladies and gentlemen. It's right here. This is all we needed to know. Video could be over right now. How are there 11 minutes left of anything? What else is there to say?
The two gave similar statements about an incident that had allegedly taken place in Lawler's hotel room. Lawler initially denied that they'd visited his hotel room, but later stated that they'd briefly stopped by to use.
What do you mean? Why were you together? Why was
the telephone?
Why was she with you, bro? Why were you with her? Why did she go into your? Why did she need a phone? Who was she calling? Why were you there? Was she calling somebody to be like, hey, I'm in Jerry Lawler's motel room for some reason? That's a strange call to make. I bet it wasn't to her parents. Like, what is this whole excuse, brother?
The investigation continued over several weeks, during which Lawler...
Wait, hold on. They said this happened in 1992. I was born in 1990. So like, how was I watching him on TV when I was like 9 and 10? How was he not in jail 8 years later? Or like, yeah. Like, what is up with this? How was he not in jail when I was watching the show? Are they going to explain that to me?
It was removed from WWF programming. In 2018,
How is he able to be around kids right now? Come on.
journalist David Bixenspan wrote an article for Deadspin that includes excerpts from a handwritten letter Lawler reportedly sent to prosecutors during the case. The letter was included in the official case file released to
Claimed to be pregnant and has exposed herself publicly and committed lesbian acts in front of currently involved wow, so that makes it better because she's also getting touched by a okay, wow. Who also happens babysits was also caught with the black man. What does that have anything to do with it? Her mother is aware of both situations in the midst of her daughter lies to her all the time. The girl claims to have several wrestlers. Wow.
Span by the Louisville Police Department in response.
Wow. This is literal victim blaming for multiple things. Like none of this stuff here, none of that matters in this situation. None of that. Nothing he just said in any of these sentences right here that he wrote down are relevant to this situation. These are excuses that he's using because he's a weirdo.
To a public records request. In the letter, Lawler made harsh personal attacks on the teenager's character, language that would be considered.
And also, why do black people always got to get thrown under the bus for some reason? Like, what do we do? Brothers just standing here being black. Also, it was she was with black guys too. Like, whoa, is there any proof of this? Even I'm sure
deeply inappropriate by today's standards, according to Bixenspan. While prosecutors never stated whether the letter played a role in the outcome.
Now I gotta think: have they ever liked black wrestlers? Like, is there like a black wrestler that I can remember him really rooting for? Maybe The Rock, but that's kind of like, I don't know. I don't know. The Rock was just so, in the biz and so over that I don't think he could have not been on his side. They really did like Austin though. They was really messing with Austin though. I don't know. Shout out to Austin though. I don't think, hopefully there ain't no video about him, because Austin is my boy now. I don't need to be hearing nothing about him doing nothing crazy.
Lawler's efforts to undermine their credibility may have contributed to the decision to pursue a plea deal instead of going to trial. In February 1994, Lawler accepted a plea agreement. The original charges were dropped, but he pleaded guilty to a lesser charge of harassing a witness.
What?
That charge was related to claims that he'd contacted a relative of one of the witnesses during the investigation. He was...
Okay, now, I think at this point we need to have a conversation with the Kentucky Department of Justice. Like, what is happening right now? How is he getting away with all this? You telling me he just got away with, doing explicit things with a minor as well as harassing the witness? And because he's Jerry Lawler, he gets away with it? It's 1992. Who even cares about Jerry Lawler anymore? Even outside of that point, who cares? This is justice. It's blind. It's blind to all of the I'm Jerry Lawler madness. Like, what the hell?
Was fined $500 and received no jail time. Lawler returned to WWF television shortly after, and he's never publicly discussed the case in any detail. But in 2017, he briefly resurfaced the subject when he retweeted a post referencing the case, though he did so without comment. In the 1980s, Eddie Gilbert was seen as one of the brightest young minds in professional wrestling. He had a great mind for the creative side of the business, and at one point he was reportedly given the job of booker in the Continental Wrestling Association.
Okay.
The CWA was the Memphis territory run by Jerry Jarrett and Jerry Lawler. and tensions allegedly arose when Lawler took the job of Booker off of Gilbert. He later claimed that Eddie's time as Booker was inconsistent and that others in the company weren't happy with the direction that things were heading.
I don't know if I can't really believe things he says these days.
While he was writing the storylines, Eddie ended up leaving Memphis and working across various promotions until he passed away in 1995 at just 33 years old. Eddie's younger brother Doug stayed active in the wrestling business, and he became resentful of how the CWA had treated his family over the years, and he saw Lawler as the main reason behind that. It was October 1999, during a live broadcast of Power Pro Wrestling in Memphis, when he decided to go off script. He began by accusing Jerry Lawler's son, Brian Christopher, of only having any success in wrestling because of who his dad was.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, bruh. He wasn't. The whole group itself was just a little ridiculous, like, you know. And honestly, the only reason the group really got over was because of Rikishi and Scotty 2 Hotty. Like, I don't even think, who cares about Grandmaster Sexy or whatever. Flat. I don't even remember what his name was fully. He was just the worst part of the whole group.
At the time, that family connection between Lawler and Christopher wasn't something that was publicly acknowledged. He then directed comments at the booker of Power Pro Wrestling, Randy Hales, accusing him of unprofessional conduct. And finally, Gilbert referenced the 1993 allegations against Lawler live on TV before the broadcast quickly cut to a commercial break. Shortly after, he was fired from the promotion.
I bet. Hey, my guy though, bro went on like, hey, put the spotlight on me. Hey, Jerry?
I hear you like I'm young.
Late 1980s, Lawler was still the king of
editor, throw in the beat.
Memphis, but the world of wrestling had completely changed over the preceding decade. The territories were dying, and Vince McMahon was emerging as the true king of wrestling. In 1988, World Class Championship Wrestling and Jerry Jarrett's Continental Wrestling Association decided to team up for a joint pay-per-view called Super Clash 3. This was an attempt to shift attention away from the WWF and remind people that other promotions still existed.
Wait, I don't know if this was during that what was that, the like WrestleMania 3 or WrestleMania, any of those first couple of WrestleMania, maybe the second one, but like those first, there was banger WrestleManias after, like, you know, in a row for real, so that was gonna be tough.
Event of the show was a unification match between AWA World Champion Jerry Lawler and Kerry Von Erich, who was the champion in World Class. On paper, the show should have been huge, but in reality, it was a total disaster.
What?
The event drew under 2,000 fans, and the main event ended in confusion. Von Erich had Lawler in the Iron Claw and looked to be in control when the referee suddenly stopped the match due to excessive blood loss and awarded the win to Lawler, making him the unified champion. The fans felt cheated by the finish, but backstage things were even messier. According to Lawler, Kerry showed up in no condition to perform, and there was uncertainty at the time that the match would even happen. He also said that he wasn't paid properly for wrestling on the show, and so he refused to appear in the AWA until it was sorted out. The AWA said that this was Lawler being unreliable.
Yeah, this sounds a little... I mean, if the match went on fully, they just made the wrong call at the end. Like, how messed up could he have been? Like, was it like a Jeff Hardy situation where, like, he was stumbling out of the entrance way? Like, oh, you can clearly tell, like, you know, Sting's making a freaking call on the spot. No, I doubt it. I doubt, especially back then, back when he'd probably just have a shoot match or something. If it was like that, Jerry probably would have went off script and just like actually start fighting him or something. You know, he probably could only fight 13-year-old girls too.
So
Like, who knows? I don't
they
know.
stripped him of the belt. Whether Lawler was justified or not, he'd added fuel to an old criticism about him, that he only played ball when he was the one in control. Jerry Lawler's issues with Paul Heyman went back to the 1980s, when Heyman was working as a manager in Memphis. Lawler claimed that he booked a scaffold match to pay off a major storyline that would have involved Heyman climbing to the top, but Heyman flat out refused to climb up there, saying that he was scared of heights.
That makes sense. I've never seen Paul Heyman do any of the extreme stuff. Paul Heyman, the guy who made ECW a thing, I've never seen him go through a table. I've never seen him get like hit with anything so hard it made him bleed. I don't think I've ever seen him take a chair shot, like a real like good chair shot. I can't think of a single time he's taken a like Kenbo stick. Yeah, he doesn't really take bumps for real. He might get speared. He may have been speared, may have been choke slammed, you know, may have been roughed up a little bit with some basic moves, you know, maybe maybe I don't know, maybe some type of slam, but nothing crazy, you know, maybe something off a top rope. But he ain't going. I've never seen him go through a table. Guys, if you want to comment down below a time where he went through a table or something, that'd be dope.
Lawler later said that the whole angle fell apart and that they even got into a backstage fight over this.
Why?
Where he punched Heyman and broke his jaw.
Really?
Their relationship never fully...
Wait, hold on. There's got to be proof of that, right? There's got to be like proof where like Paul Heyman was like, yeah, I had a broken jaw. Like, I don't think Paul would lie about that, right? Paul wouldn't be like, oh yeah. I mean, he might lie about that. It's Paul Heyman. Like, shout out to him. He's one of my goats, but it's Paul Heyman, so like you can't, you know. But he wouldn't lie about having a broken jaw. He may lie about how it happened, but he would have to have a broken jaw for a while and still be trying to do his job and work and do promos and start up ECW at this time. And geez, I just realized his haircut is horrible, brother. What? I'm so glad he switched that up and started wearing hats. Hats were the best thing that ever happened to Paul Heyman. What is happening right now? Look at this. Look at this line. Oh my God. I'm in no position to talk right now. I need a haircut. But that's crazy.
recovered. So when ECW invaded the WWF in 1997...
Look at that. Look at him with a hat on. Oh my goodness, this is crazy. Look at the difference. He looks younger.
So when ECW invaded the
Look at this. All he needed,
WWF in 1997, the tension wasn't just part of the show, it was real. Lawler spent the entire night burying ECW.
Wait, is that Paul taking that shot?
It was real.
No.
Spent the entire night burying ECW and mocking Heyman on commentary. When Heyman himself got on commentary, he fired back, calling Lawler a relic who was stuck in the past. In the late 90s, Stacey Carter entered the wrestling business with no prior experience. She had been working as a bank teller in Memphis, and she was introduced to wrestling once she was in a relationship with Lawler, who helped her get a job in the WWF. Under the ring name Miss Kitty, Carter first appeared...
I remember her. Oh my gosh. Okay. Hey, I guess that's the 90s look.
As a sidekick to Deborah, before later being paired with Chyna.
Okay. I think I remember her. Okay. Her with the black hair, that looks a lot better for some reason. This whole gimmick right here, I like it more.
She was eventually rebranded as the Cat, where she became a regular presence on WWF TV. While Carter and Lawler were married in real life, their relationship was never acknowledged on screen. Backstage, she was reportedly difficult to deal with, and she frequently clashed with the creative team. According to Jim Ross, who was the head of talent relations at the time, those concerns were taken to Vince McMahon, who ultimately made the decision to terminate her contract. In response,
I shouldn't even be laughing at any point in this video, but like, They just say, "Hey, I'm having some issues." She's like, "Hey, I'm having issues with this. I'm gonna go to HR like a normal person does." And they're like, "Oh yeah, Vince. Oh girl, she's having a lot of issues with the writing staff and the creative. She doesn't like the direction." Oh, okay, I'll figure this out. What do I do? Should I talk to my staff? No, okay. You're fired. You're fired. That's how I imagine the conversation went. Um, I'm sure it had a couple of the other details in it.
Lawler quit the WWF on the same day, stating publicly that he had no interest in continuing with a company that had treated his wife so badly. Lawler
Brother, what about how you treated that 13-year-old?
and Carter separated later that same year.
Ha!
He returned to the company in November 2001.
Left for what, brother? What'd you leave for? Would you leave? Hey, kids, somebody get these two children away from this monster over here. There are, security, there are two children. They need to be like, he actually, no, they don't need to move. He needs to be moved away from them. Okay. They got good seats. He needs to be moved away. There's a woman here. There's women and children here, guys. We have to protect them from this monster with this king outfit on right here. Get him out of here. In fact, officers, if you want to go ahead and put him in jail, you can go ahead and put him in jail for, I don't know, however long he should be getting for this. Like maybe the rest of his life, natural born life, all that stuff, maybe like, just see how long you can get him in jail for that. I'm sure there's other crimes he's committed, as well. We had two big ones at the beginning of the first 13 seconds. The relations he had, and also the freaking intimidated witnesses. Like, I'm not trying to say the word on YouTube, but like, geez, you saw what that paragraph said. You saw what the article said, right? They mentioned it multiple times. So there you go.
On resuming his position on commentary as if nothing had ever happened. Stacey Carter has never been seen in WWE ever again.
Yeah, I get it. You were a bank teller, lady. Why were you even there? You didn't even go to...
During the Attitude Era, Lawler became more famous for his commentary than his wrestling. Yeah. His voice became part of the WWF soundtrack every week, along with his constant cries of puppy.
And now I feel bad about that. I thought it was already crazy when I thought this is where they were going to start, where he was talking about puppies and all that stuff all the time, where it was like, whoa, turns out that was inappropriate. Now I'm like, yo, this guy's a monster. You could see it was always on his mind. He's a monster. He couldn't ever stop thinking about quote unquote puppies, if you know what I mean.
Whenever an attractive female wrestler,
turns out he don't like them dogs. He liked those underage puppies.
Showed up. And for a lot of fans, it's part of Attitude Era nostalgia. But as the wrestling world has moved on, Lawler didn't always keep up. And in 2017, some of his views on women drew criticism. During the height of the Me Too movement, public attitudes around sexual misconduct were changing fast. During this period, Lawler was hosting a podcast called Dinner with the King when the topic came up. It appears that eventually, anybody that's ever flirted with anybody or had any kind of sexual contact with anybody is all of a sudden, you could potentially...
You know what? People who have these type of views, I feel like you do got to watch out for them, because like what interactions are you having that you feel like you're just about to get Me Too'd at any moment? Like... You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Do you know women for real? Like platonically, do you have any female friends that you like aren't actively trying to get with? You could put it out there like, hey, if it happens, it happens. Like, hey, whatever. But if so, you're like women who you're not like actively going after, like, you have like sisters and stuff, like people like that in your life, like. Not every relationship is like, oh, everybody you ever flirt with is every woman out there. They're trying to get you. Like, what, get what from who? From you? What do you have anyway? What are they going to get from you? Come on, brother.
Be a target in the future. He then went on to complain about having to tone down his commentary while he was working in WWE, and
Probably.
WWE no longer doing bra and panties matches, and having to refer to female wrestlers as women instead of divas. Those comments led to some backlash among the fans, and the podcast was removed from circulation sometime later. In 2016, Lawler was arrested alongside his fiancée, Lauren McBride, after police responded to a 911 hang-up at his home in Memphis. Both accused each other of assault, with McBride saying that Lawler had hit her and pushed her against a stove, while Lawler claimed that she was drunk and threw a candle at him before scratching his face. He also said that she brought a gun into the room and threatened to kill herself. With no clear aggressor, both were arrested.
Where's that scar on his face? Let me see. Not really seeing too much besides wrinkles. Interesting.
And charged with misdemeanor domestic assault. WWE suspended Lawler immediately. The charges were dropped a few weeks later, and WWE reinstated him. The
Domestic charges get dropped all the time. You guys gotta let him go. Like, what? Come on, bro. This is why Vince needed to be fired.
same day.
Oh wow, okay. Oh wow, they do have a Paul Heyman one. Paul Heyman hated working with these wrestlers. Interesting. Well, yeah, guys, that was an incredible video. I'm gonna be honest. I do feel like the big shot came at the very beginning. The first couple of seconds, I was like, "Whoa, what the hell?" And then everything else after that felt a little bit like, okay, not as crazy. You know, it just really felt like maybe it should have been reversed a little bit. But outside of that, I really enjoyed the video. Maybe this is how he gets you. He gets you at the beginning with the hook, like bam, whoa, what is that? That's like the craziest incident I've ever heard of. And then it's like, oh, okay, he also does some other stuff that you also don't like, and it's like, okay, you know, I can tolerate the whole video now, but also like I got that big shock out of the way. Like it really shocked my system at the beginning. So I guess, okay, maybe I'm wrong. This is the intention of the video. I am stunned by this information. I'm stunned by wrestling information, stunned by wrestling. He should have added. So yeah, I'm stunned by wrestling and this information here. So wow, incredible, guys. Great video. If you made it this far into it, I want to say thank you as always. I love you. Bye.